Welcome back, this is Jack. This is not going to be like one of my normal videos where I have a decent amount of B-roll because I want to talk about something that's semi-personal, and I may break two of the rules of this channel, the two rules of this channel. One is I will not talk from a place of hatred or anger, and two, I will try to always bring it back to how it affects the working class. Now, I can semi-do that last one, but I might break the first rule because it's, once again, extremely personal. In the news, the GW has had about 7 sailors commit suicide. And that's kind of a big deal to me, because when I was in 7th Fleet Navy, the GW was the carrier out there at the time, and I had several friends who were on that ship, so I got to see firsthand how the culture of abusing their sailors was created and fostered and nurtured. My ship was just as bad too, and I'll get to how the Fitzgerald was. Let me talk about current events first. So after the string, the highest enlisted sailor, this command master chief of the Navy, went out to talk to the sailors, and an HM2 asked or said, "Hey, we haven't had hot water and berthing in I think it was like 7 weeks or a couple weeks. I can't remember how long it was." And his response was, "Lower your standards." So these people who lived on the ship were being forced to live in a berthing with no hot water whatsoever, with a work tempo where they were probably working 12 to 18-hour days and had no chance to really rest and couldn't even be afforded a hot damn shower. I'm sorry, that gets me. That really, really bothers me. And it's not like they were out to sea and lost the ability to make hot water. No, they were in port. The command could have had them stay at a barge or one of the barracks in the area, and you can't tell me the admiral who runs the carrier didn't have the pull to do that. And that bothers me a lot. Because the Navy has a lot of this, where the sailors are given this really high op tempo and very little chance to dewind to the point that they snap and break, either mentally or physically or both. In my case, I snap mentally. That's why I do this YouTube channel, and that's why I do my political YouTube channel, because if I didn't, I'd go insane. I would love to run for office, but I don't think I could mentally handle it. I know my limitations. Now on to the story about the Fitzgerald, because that one ties back to my experiences. The Fitzgerald crashed in an oil tanker, and I think it was like 9 to 12 sailors died. The CEO got away with it, got no punishment. And that may sound really harsh. He should have been punished. I don't care. I know he was asleep when the crash happened. I know he was injured. But him, the XO, and the CMC should have been removed from the Navy instantly because they did nothing for their sailors. Now here's why. The watchstanders who drove the ship and who were using the radars were falling asleep on watch. Now once again, you might immediately think, hey, that's their fault. They should be the ones going to the break. No. Here's why. The CEO... the ship had just gotten done with flight ops for about 12 to 18 hours. Once again, it's a really long period of time, but I think it was about 18 hours, where all day they were effectively on another watch, making sure helicopters were able to come and go, land safely. All day. They hadn't been able to rest, and then they were immediately thrown onto a 4 or 6 hour watch in the middle of the night in a high trafficked area of other ships. It was a matter of time before that happened. And the captain could have turned around to the Commodore of the 7th Fleet and said, "Hey, we cannot do this safely. It will be very dangerous, and we might cause an accident." He didn't even do that. He's like, "Nope, I got to look good in front of the Commodore. My people can do it." And it resulted in sailors dying. And he got away with it. And I can tell you, that kind of atmosphere was bred and created around my time. Commander Schmitz was my captain, and he had no problem working on his 18-hour days, 6 and sometimes 7 days a week, and always 7 days a week if you had duty on that last day on Sunday, where we weren't even allowed to leave the ship. If you had family off the ship, you were not allowed to go home. You had to stay on the ship. And we did this for about 6 months, all because we had an inspection coming on. The fact that we didn't have a suicide surprises the hell out of me. And he was okay with this. He watched sailors just slowly break and bragged about it. He was like, "I'm watching engineering have these 32-hour days, and they're just ready to go to get the ship ready." And a lot of time, all we were doing was cleaning. Our maintenance was all the way caught up to date, and we were just cleaning the ship, bragging about how the ship smells completely different, like no one even lives here. I lived on the ship for 3 years. And that's one of the reasons I broke, personally. My mind broke. The Navy needs to be fixed. The military needs to be fixed. Now, some of you might like, especially some older military people might like, toughen up. Hang on a second. Do you realize the restrictions we're given when we go to shore, if we get shore? We would spend, in 7th Fleet, you would have a high op tempo of you go out for 3 months, come back in for a week, go out for 3 more months. And you may never go to a port. You may just never go to a port the whole time. Instead, you're just out there standing watch, doing maintenance, standing watch, doing maintenance, and maybe getting 6, maybe 4 hours sleep. Especially if you had mid-watch, you're really not sleeping. I at one point stood a 32-hour watch straight because ceremony of the shellback, I didn't want to take part, so I was the one standing watch the whole time. I was hallucinating a unicorn walking through command by the end of it. I had people cycling watches around me going, why the hell are you still here? I asked to go to the rest. I needed a relief to go to the restroom, and I didn't get one for hours until the officer standing in charge of CMC said, "Go. I don't want you peeing yourself." I stood most of that watch literally standing because if I sat down for even a second, I'd probably fall asleep while manning 2 separate watches. And this was okay. No one cared. And then with all that op tempo, with all that work, we don't get a port call. And when we do get a port call, you have a mile-long restrictions. And by the way, when you go into the port call, it's not a liberty port call where you get to go out and just go have fun. You know, if you have duty, go stand duty, but where you get to go out and have fun. No, it's a work port call 90% of the time, where you have to still go do all the work you would have done underway. Just, you know, after work hours, you get to go explore Guam or wherever. That is what the Navy is like, and that's 7th Fleet. When you are stateside, you go out for 6 months to a year. And then immediately when you come back, you're immediately prepping for the next one, where you spend months upon months getting worked over, the ship getting repaired, people getting trained up. So you'll have those ridiculously long work hours, and it just keeps going and going, and never given a chance to take a break. That's why you have these drinking accidents. That's why you have these violent outbreaks by sailors, and then you just have these suicides, and these people leaving the military mentally broken. And we're not even at war. We're not even at a war where the Navy is needed. We are in peacetime doing this to our sailors and breaking them. Now, I can't speak for the Army. Now, here's where it comes back to the working class. Every sailor who has to leave the military early because their mind broke or their body broke or both, every sailor who commits suicide, we have to replace them. That's one less mother, father, son, daughter, they, them, who is no longer able to serve, not able to come back to the workforce. And those who do come back, such as myself, I can't go back to the workforce because my brain just doesn't work right anymore. I'll spiral into a pit of self-hate where I damn near want to destroy myself. Suicidal ideation is not suicidal tendencies. There's a difference. And then that's not even including the erratic sleep I have. As people who watch my streams on my other channel know, I sleep in a highly erratic pattern. And I can't control it because the chemicals in my brain are so messed up from that insanely high op tempo we did. We need to do better. We need to do better. We need to ask our people to do better, our leaders to do better. We spend over $1 trillion a year keeping our military maintained. Not only should we downsize that, spend that tax money on the actual country, not just going to war with everybody or trying to fight everybody or threaten everybody. We not only need to do that, but we need to reduce this op tempo. We don't need to strut around right off the coast of China and say, look, we can be right here. Because that's what it was. I've stood I've stayed awake for 24 hours making sure my system didn't break because we were going through the Taiwanese Straits. And then go stand a watch, by the way. All because we wanted to intimidate China. We need to not do that. We need to remember that we need to take care of our people. And the final thing I'm going to say off before I sign out, when you hear the biggest joke, the funniest part about when I was talking about the Fitzgerald, its motto is protect your people. I have some stories. I want to do some interviews with some of my friends who served with me. So you get to know how bad the Navy really was. So you get to know their story. Gunslinging Troll was on the ship. I don't know if you met her yet, but Cherry Bomb was on there. Quite a few people. And I want to interview them so they can talk about their story now that they're out. Anyway, I appreciate y'all watching. Please hit the subscribe button. And once again, this is hopefully going to be a one-off video where I do more of a blog instead of like an actual educational video. Anyway, I appreciate y'all being here. I'll see you on the next one.